Is it time? Football is back after a 1 year hiatus. There are two changes to the podcast. I have glasses, and Gabe finally has a working mic. We can celebrate it. We can celebrate it pretty heavily. But we also have another thing to celebrate, and that is the 2026 World Cup draw. That was today. The groups are out, and it's an exciting one, isn't it, Gabe?
I can't wait for it, man. It's absolutely just gonna be something that's just wonderful. I can't wait for it to go when it actually takes place in just over 6 months' time. But yeah, chaos, hot takes, all coming in order over the next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to basically run through every single group, our initial reaction so far. We're not going to give a ranking specifically of the final estimate of who's going to be top in the group and who's going to be bottom last, but we will rank the groups between 1 and 5 stars on the competitiveness and the excitement of the games that are at hand within these groups. Am I right?
Yeah, can't wait for it. I'm going to give some lovely star rankings for it. So there will be definitely some 1 stars with some teams.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Well, I think so far we're starting off with a group with some teams that we actually like, to be honest, because Group A contains Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and the UEFA Pot D playoff contender. I actually don't know I can't remember who that is.
It's that one is with it's Denmark, North Macedonia,
that's
Ireland.
the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Okay. So honestly, looking at this group, I think this is, in terms of like football culture, a very interesting, diverse group with, representation from 4 different continents coming into the mix. Hard to say who the favorite is. For me, I think the obvious choice is probably Mexico, since they're going to be at home.
Yeah.
And their first game is against South Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
At home in Mexico City. Big home advantage for them. So I expect that group to be, pretty exciting and pretty even, to be honest, actually. So I would say Mexico for now are favorites, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd probably go Mexico, but I wouldn't sleep on South Africa. I think they're pretty well tactically set up. And then I think it's a good group because it's pretty even. I could see any of these teams finishing first. Generally, even the playoff team, because if it's Denmark, Denmark are strongest on paper, or Ireland, so that could be interesting. I think this is a really exciting group actually, because I know Mexico have been a bit underwhelming of late, but I think all these teams though, they're definitely going to go front-footed. They're not going to be like pragmatic too much. So I think that's going to be
Yes, I think it's going to be a group that is very much based off of effort and intensity in a lot of the games. So for me, right from the get-go, this is a 5-star group because all of the teams are pretty even.
Yeah.
Even if Denmark comes in, Denmark is a World Cup semifinalist in the last 10 years. So, pretty high-ranking team. But at this day and age, all these teams, I would say, could bring an element of surprise at some point. So I'm going 5 stars from the get-go with this one.
It's a big call. I'm gonna go 4 probably. Just the only reason why is because I think in terms of overall competitiveness, love it. It's definitely gonna be, I think, there's not gonna be any teams that are playing boring football, but it's one that's lacking like quality, if that makes sense. I think all of these.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Even Denmark, if they make it, who would be the best? Denmark, as we've seen, have very much like flaws to their game, as they demonstrated when they choked against Scotland and things like that. So yeah, 4 stars for me, but good group. So now we move on to Group B, of course, with my lovely Swiss boys, our lovely Swiss boys, since we're both Swiss. So a lot of excitement here. So I'll say this. I think this group, on a personal level, with regards to Switzerland's chances, is good.
I'll be honest, I'm very happy with this. Looking at when I saw from the get-go Switzerland being with Canada, I was very happy, to be honest. I was hoping that Switzerland would not get Germany being my other team.
Right.
That would already be problematic. It was the case in the Euros. So I'm happy with this group.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think in
Swiss fan perspective.
No, for sure. Swiss fan perspective, I think it's good. I will say though, similar to you though, my personal thing, I am also Italian, so I hope I want obviously Italy to qualify, but again, I do want Switzerland to do better. I do root for Switzerland more than Italy, so there's that definitely debates. But I would say, I think, to the neutral point of view, apart from Qatar, I think all these teams are interesting in some way. I think Canada played very good football under Jesse Marsch, and I think we as Switzerland, we play really good. Qatar are the ones that are No, I'm sorry. I think they're.
I'll be honest though. Like it's more competitive than most people would expect. Maybe this group.
That's right.
I do think so. Looking at it now without the last team in it, is like Switzerland is winning this with ease. Most people, I assume most people would say, in terms of their recent form, they've been pretty excellent in the qualification so far.
Yeah, definitely. I will say I would say as a final thing, I think we could come first. I think Switzerland, we can come first in this group, but I think that game against Canada is going to be very, very tricky because Canada plays good football. But I think it'd be really interesting to see players like Monzambi and Vargas and Ndoye go up against the Canadian defense and really like hard-hitting football. So I think there's a lot of good promise there.
It's an interesting game, but I think the quality of the Swiss team is a lot better than the Canadian team. What will make this group interesting? So far, I'm going to say 2 stars, maybe this group.
Yeah.
Kind of uninteresting apart from our own interest. For the neutral fan, it's a bit uninteresting. But say Italy comes into the mix, sorry to say, Gabe, it might go up to a 3 stars and balance out the potential prediction later on. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I'm going to going on that, I'm going to go probably 2.5 stars because I'm going to sit on the fence, see about the potential that there could be Italy there, where besides my personal quandaries and my personal debates, it will actually be good for the neutral to see Italy in this group. Like Canada, Italy's an opening game in that group would be interesting. So I'll go, 2.5 stars, I think. It's a shame about Qatar because I think otherwise, actually, there's a lot of promise in there.
Yeah. Now, Group C. This group is a firecracker, man.
Yeah.
Very interesting group. Sadly, I do feel sorry for Haiti and Scotland. Scotland, first time in a while they've been back. I think it's been 60 years since they've been there. Haiti, I think they qualified in 2002 or 2006. Maybe.
No, even further back, 74. So
both of these teams, it's been a long time coming, and they obviously it's an incredible opportunity for them to play Brazil. But it's a hard game for both of these teams. And with Morocco in the mix as well, whoever's coming third will have an issue in terms of goal difference.
Yes. Definitely. I think the question is like whoever comes third, which will probably be either Haiti or Scotland, probably Scotland. It's about the goal difference to make sure you don't have a bad goal difference. I think what's interesting though in this group is I really like this group though because the fan fest is going to be fantastic for all 4 of the teams. Really good fan base, really good in the stadium, is going to be really hype. I also like it though because all 4 of these teams are tactically so interesting and they're so diverse. You have a Haiti team that definitely are underdogs, but we were mentioning this off camera. Tactically, they're so well set up. They're very well set up. They're very front-footed. They do really good counterattacking plays. And then Morocco love their tactics and stuff.
They were excellent in the qualifications, Haiti. And, all these teams bring something different to the table. For me, looking at the groups, this is one of the best groups on paper, for sure. All the teams are interesting.
For sure.
2 very sort of newish teams that we still have to see on the World Cup stage.
Yes.
In recent times, it's for me, it's also a 5 stars. Group.
This one I'm also going to go 5 stars actually because, of course, there were better pot 3 teams in Scotland, and you could argue better pot 4 teams in Haiti, but the style of play combined with the fan base and the intensity is going to be really fun. So I'm going to go 5 stars actually this one, and a hot take before we move to the next group, I think Morocco come top in this group, but we'll wait to see.
Ooh, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that some other time.
For sure.
Well, let's get into Group D, which
well, let me start with this Group D because so the U.S. So U.S. fans, you are, I'm sure, celebrating because this is a much more straightforward group. You got the easiest pot 2 team in my view in Australia, or one of the easiest.
I think it is the easiest. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. But Paraguay are a good team, so don't underestimate them. I think Paraguay really well set up under Gustavo Alfonso. I think that's the manager's name. He looks really good under them. I think it's a group that U.S. definitely will come out of. I think for the excitement levels of this group, U.S.-Paraguay will be a good game, and if Turkey make it through the playoffs, that will be really interesting, all intense. Australia are much more pragmatic, though. So that will be a little bit of like a downer, but I think it's interesting competitiveness. What do you think?
I mean, I'll be honest. I saw the group. I saw the first 3 come out until pot 4, and I was like, wow, this is a very easy group for the US. To be honest, like for them to get out of, maybe not to top it, but for them to get out of, and that's the goal for them. It's their home tournament. They have to get out of the group. But now that I see that Turkey might make it, I do think that Turkey are well set up to take a good game to the U.S. with their physicality, which is something that the U.S. team lacks thereof. So
1,000,000%.
If Turkey make it, it'll be interesting.
Definitely. I will say this though as a slight hot take. We'll see like later in the months and March and stuff about who makes that playoff. I could also see Kosovo making that playoff, which is a bit of a hot take. But anyway, because I think
it's very possible. All the teams in that playoff pot are pretty sound. Sure. Pretty respectable teams.
Definitely.
But I think Turkey is the best setup for this group.
For sure.
Out of all 4 teams qualifying.
I'll say a final thing on this group is that besides about the US's prospects, I will also say from the Australian perspective, they also will be happy about this group because they will be thinking this is a very gettable group with the pot 1, but also Paraguay, they could actually frustrate. So it'd be interesting.
I think all of these teams are probably happy with this group.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I'm giving it a 3 stars because like it's like even, but the teams aren't that exciting.
Yeah.
And apart from maybe Paraguay, like, you know, it's kind of a neutral group, I would say. You know,
Agreed.
Obviously, if you have interest, it's important. But that's the way I see it. 3 stars. I don't know. What about you, Gabe?
I actually will probably also do 3 stars, and I think the reason why is because I think the only one that's like. We have to wait for the playoff teams. So we have to wait to see who that is. From the confirmed teams, Paraguay play good football. US play, without going too much in depth about it, months ago they were looking horrible under Poch. Now they're looking much better, but again, we'll see how it translates into the World Cup. So I'm iffy about them. In Australia, we know are much more pragmatic, so that's why I'd go 3.
I do think physicality will be an issue for the US team, but we'll see. Now to move on to Germany's Group E. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy about this group for us, because it's a good test, and there's 2 pretty solid World Cup teams in there, Ivory Coast and Ecuador, and Curacao is a new addition, super interesting. It'll be a good test for us against opposition we've never faced.
Definitely.
So, you know, I'm excited about this group for us, and I hope that we somehow get our gameplay together by the time the World Cup comes, because we could be very good. It's just it's a bit immature at the moment with Germany.
Yeah, I think it's a naivety thing in a way. But that's why I think this group is so interesting, because you have an exciting Ecuador team that's very young. So it'll be interesting to see if they've learned from, because 2022 World Cup, they look good. I think the issue was just a bit of naivety. That's why they got knocked out. So it'll be interesting to see now with the experience of that, players 4 years older, how that translates. So I think that's fascinating. And then Cote d'Ivoire, I'm really curious about that matchup because they're defensively, they were excellent during qualifiers. So yeah, I think there's some good things there. And the Curacao story I love, smallest country ever to make the World Cup based on population.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story. You gotta love it. I think the you know, for me, like Germany is expected to top this group, and then the question mark is who comes second. So it's between Ecuador and Cote d'Ivoire. I mean, Curacao, if you know, it would be fantastic if they get a point or a win somehow. It would be amazing for them. It would be absolutely amazing. But I think they're a bit out of their depth here, being the lowest ranking team with 4-time world champions, numerous time African Cup of Nations champions, and Ecuador is a very strong World Cup team. So it's a tough group for them, sadly.
For sure. I'm gonna say, for me personally, I don't know about you, I'm gonna say still this is like a 4-star group, and the reason okay, nice. Yeah, I just think there's some really interesting dynamics here. Really interesting dynamics at play.
Yeah, I think the levels of the difference in levels is more apparent.
Yeah,
but it's new teams, new matchups. I don't think Germany has been with Ecuador in a very long time. I think the last time Germany was with Ecuador was in 2006.
I think I'm pretty sure.
They haven't played Ivory Coast in a very long time. So it's going to be a very, very good match. Like it's going to be new for a lot of these teams.
Exactly.
So that's why I give it 4 stars. It's mainly because of the fresh aspect of this group. You know, it's teams that we haven't seen play each other very much.
1,000,000%. Moving on to Group F, meanwhile, some very interesting dynamics here as well. We have Netherlands, Japan, and then the playoff path, which is between Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, Albania, and Tunisia. I'll start with this one. I think this is a group. I'm going to give an expression. This seems to me like a 2-2 group, where you have a clear 2 that are going to be top 2 and the bottom 2, because I think Netherlands and Japan are so good, and Netherlands are good as well, but of course they can have their off days. So that could be an interesting battle for first. But I think you have a 2-2 group here, because I think Poland, Albania, Ukraine, Sweden are offset from both of them, I would say.
Yeah. Especially if Sweden makes it. I think if Sweden makes it, they'll be the weakest in the group. I'm being honest. I went to watch the Switzerland versus Sweden game.
Yeah.
And it was sorry to say, they were awful. They really were awful. And it's hard to see, even though they have Isaac and Gyökeres, you know, that two of the best strikers in the world is not going to make your team any good.
No.
So
exactly.
that's the way I see it. I totally agree with you. It's a 2-2 group. Tunisia is a solid team with good work ethic. And always good in the qualifiers, but once they come to the World Cup, they lack the squad depth a lot of the time.
Exactly.
Whereas Netherlands and Japan are just overdosing with squad depth.
Exactly. I think that final point about it is because Tunisia are not a bad team. It's just that they're much more like they're rugged. But the problem is it's just like so they'll never get thrashed. But the problem is it's like it's difficult for them to pull off the kind of results against Netherlands or Japan, right? So yeah, so I agree. It's definitely a 2-2 group. I would probably go for star-wise this one because I do think Netherlands Japan will be a very fun game. That'll be a very very fun, exciting game. I'd probably go star quality. So I'll go 3.
I'll go 3 too.
Yeah, I'd go 3.
Maybe 4. Maybe 4 if say even if Ukraine make it. Ukraine is a bit out of their depth too, sadly.
Yeah.
All the teams in the playoff pot are kind of out of their depth in this group, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think Netherlands Japan is one of the better group games we have so far.
Definitely.
It's an excellent game, and Netherlands, I believe, are one of the favorites even this year in terms of the squad. But we'll see.
Yeah, sure.
I give it a 3, maybe a 4, so 3.5 to make it fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. Now Group G. I'm gonna mention our little bet that we had for this call, which was we each bet on which pot 1 team would have the easiest group. I bet England, Gabriel bet Belgium. Belgium's not far off. I think this is probably the second weakest group. So yeah, like Belgium is lucky that Iran has a high rank.
Yes.
Because if you look in terms of rankings, this group, apart from Belgium and Iran, is not it.
No, it really is.
It's one of the weaker groups.
I think I'm going to actually make these statement here, and you'll see my star rating as well in a bit. I think this is the worst group in terms of entertainment levels. I really do. I think it's a hot take, but I think all 4 teams from here are underwhelming. There's not a shock factor in any of these 4 teams. You have a Belgium team who've been on the decline for years, right? And they showed in qualifiers as well when they struggled. You have an Egypt team that are not bad. I want to be clear. Egypt are not bad. They're just similar to Tunisia, rugged, but even a little bit worse because they don't have the experience. You then have Iran, who are rugged and are experienced, but they're not entertaining. And then you have a New Zealand team who are, in terms of, I'm going to make the argument New Zealand are the weakest confirmed team in the World Cup, because not because of player quality, just because of lack of shock factor. So all of that for me means it's the least entertaining group just in terms of shock factor. But competitiveness, it could be interesting. So I'll say
it could be interesting. I think this is all in Belgium's hands.
Yes, for
to
sure.
be honest. And with their performance at the last Euros, I wouldn't be surprised if they, even if it is in their hands, if they still mess it up in some way.
For sure.
But for me, this is a 2-star because the playing field is somewhat similar, apart from Belgium being a lot higher than the other 3.
Yeah.
In terms of the quality of the squad, but most of the games, apart from maybe Egypt, Iran, are pretty uninteresting.
Yeah.
That's just my point of view. I'd say a 2-star.
I'd go 2-star as well, and the only reason why is because there's that competitiveness for the second, third, and it's made a little bit more interesting because of the new World Cup format, because third place teams do go through, and so I think that would be interesting to see actually, like, will whoever gets third in the group have enough points to actually get through? So I think that's going to be interesting.
I think the top 3 teams are going through on this group because it's pretty even. I don't see any of these teams only having 3 points.
Yeah, that's fair. That's right.
In terms of, apart from New Zealand, maybe. So, as long as you have 4 points, you're basically through. And if you have 3, it's a goal difference issue. And I don't think there's going to be that much goal scoring in this group.
No,
to be honest.
None
of the teams are very potent offensively.
No.
So it's sadly not the most interesting group. The next group is
yes,
a talking point though.
Now Group H, I think this is a fascinating group. Of course, you have Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. This I think is a fascinating group. This could be a 2-2 group, but I also think I wouldn't sleep on Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia in some ways, because you have a Uruguay team that, if this was a year ago, would definitely make this a 2-2 group. But now they're in a huge decline under Bielsa. They got thrashed, for instance, 5-1 by the U.S. recently in a friendly. I know it's a friendly, but still. So I think this is a 1-3 group, because I think Spain will definitely be first in this group. But it's interesting, I think, with Cabo Verde, who play really exciting football, debutante, and Saudi Arabia under Ronaldo can spring another upset. So you never know.
Yeah, I think Saudi Arabia might have a good chance to be second, even if they somehow find a draw against Uruguay. Um, they're a pretty solid team, and now with the Saudi Pro League being quite efficient in bringing new players and developing the league, it's also affecting the national team, obviously. So I see them being actually a lot stronger than people would expect.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
like you said, Spain, for me, are the clear favorites of this World Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they've just been on an absolute tear, and if they get anywhere near the same form that they did in the Euros, I don't see many teams stopping them.
Yeah, agreed.
So we'll see. We will see. For me, this is a 3-star because mainly because I'm not that interested in the Saudi team and the Uruguay team, to be honest, because they're teams that I haven't watched very much, me personally, but I could see how for the neutral viewer, this is a very interesting mix-up of teams. Again, same discussion as with like the Germany group. I maybe put 4 stars. I might be a little biased, but it's teams that aren't usually used to be matched up that much, apart from Spain and Uruguay.
Yeah.
So could be interesting.
I'm going to go 3 as well, I think, for similar reasons. I think one thing I will say, though, if Cabo Verde weren't in this group, I might go a little bit lower. But I think because of the Cabo Verde factor being a debutant and they're a fun team to watch, I think that can make it interesting. So I'm going to go 3 as well for very similar reasons, for sure.
I think Cabo Verde is one of 2 new entrants that are very interesting. So especially because of their style of play. So we will see. We will see with that one. 3 stars is the conclusion. Now, next group is Group I, where this, I think, is pretty, for me personally, is the best matchup of the opening day, is France-Senegal, apart from maybe Netherlands-Japan.
That's right. Yeah, I'd probably go a little bit more than Netherlands-Japan, but I can see the argument for France.
I think France-Senegal is a fantastic game. It's a fantastic game. And Norway, I think, got quite unlucky being put into this group.
Yeah.
Because they're a very solid team, and until I saw the draw, I was going to say maybe one of the dark horses of this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
This might put some difficulty into them getting a good foot into this World Cup.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think we talked about 2-2 groups before. This for me is a 3-1 group because I'm sad to say it, but the Bolivia, Suriname, Iraq
playoff. No.
They all got screwed, unfortunately, because I actually
all 3 teams that are confirmed in this group are solid teams.
Yes, they're all. I know Norway was technically pot 3, but they're all pot 2 teams at least, and obviously France are pot 1. So it's just like, so it's just crazy, and I think the France Senegal will be a very interesting opening game. I'm really curious to see Senegal and Norway. That's gonna be a very interesting matchup.
Very interesting matchup, especially against Senegal's defense, which has changed up a lot in the last 2-3 years.
Definitely.
So we will see how that plays off in Norway, and with Erling Haaland making his World Cup debut. The last time he played a World Cup, am I wrong? Did he score 9 goals in one game?
Yes, against Honduras in the under-20.
So who knows what's going to happen when Haaland steps onto the World Cup field for the first time? Who knows what's going to happen? For me, this is a 4 because, like you said, 3-1, 3 very exciting teams up against one another. Sadly, the last team coming in is going to have a rough one.
Yeah, it's literally, if the pot 4 team was even someone like a Ghana, it wouldn't be possible because of Senegal. But if, let's say, or like a Jordan, that would actually make this a 5. But because they're very much opposite Bolivia, Suriname, Iraq, it's got to be a 4 stars for me.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Well, now we got to go to Group J. So this one's a very fascinating one. I really like this one. I'm excited to talk about this. Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. This for me is a really good group. I really like this. So Argentina, of course, would be the first, but this would be maybe a 1-3 group, right? Because Argentina are clear first, but the other 3 are also exciting. It's really interesting. You have an Algeria team under Petkovic, our former manager, who, he's doing good things with them in the qualifiers, and then you have Austria under Ragnick, who look really good, really exciting. Happy to see them in this, and then Jordan, who are they're debutants, but they should not be underestimated. They literally got Asian Cup finals recently. They play very exciting football, so it's interesting to watch them for sure.
Yes, I mean, the reigning champions haven't had the easiest group selected for them here. I think all these games are a test for them. Algeria is in a very good rebuild at the moment. So I think maybe not this World Cup, but the next World Cup, they might be one of the better African teams.
Definitely.
Austria is, if David Alaba finds his way back in the team and stays fit, they might be in their prime to go and do a pretty decent World Cup this year. And Jordan, I love Jordan. I mean, ever since the Asian Cup, the last game, what was that? 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years
right?
ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago, yeah.
They were incredibly fun to watch during that tournament. I remember because we covered that tournament. You know, all the teams are interesting in this.
Definitely.
And again, for me, the fact of all these teams are matching up against each other I don't think Argentina's ever played Austria or Jordan. Probably not. So for me, this is a 5-star.
Same. This is a 5 because this is Argentina might be clear in first, but I think they're gonna have really tricky games, and the battle for second, third, and fourth is all tied. It's really tight for me, so I'm gonna go 5 stars for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd be surprised if Jordan makes second or third.
True.
Third would be like very good for them if they get through the group. Very good for them.
Definitely.
But they're capable of doing.
Yes, for sure.
Now, Group K. This one, I don't know how to feel about this. To be honest, Portugal is obviously another one of the favorites.
Yeah.
A lot of people are thinking it's going to be fate that Ronaldo in his last World Cup wins the World Cup. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but this group definitely puts him in a good position to get through to the next round.
For sure. I think this is an interesting group for me because at the beginning when it was drawn, Portugal, Colombia, I'm like, wow, that could be group of death potential.
Great game.
But then you have Uzbekistan, they're not easy because even though they're debutant, they're not easy. But for me, they don't play the most exciting type of style. That's my issue. But they're a good team, right? They're rugged. And then you have the other option between DR Congo, Jamaica, New Caledonia. If that's DR Congo, that's really exciting because I do like DR Congo.
DR Congo is a good team.
Exactly.
Good team.
So that'd be fun. So I don't know how to feel because I think it depends on the playoff team. It also depends what kind of Uzbekistan shows up. So I'm a little like you. I'm really unsure about this group. But I think Portugal, Colombia will be a phenomenal game.
I don't know how to feel. Like you said, like when they were drawing pot 2, I was praying that Germany would not get Colombia.
Exactly.
Colombia is a very, very solid team at the moment.
Yeah.
They are in incredible form. And you know, that matchup is a firecracker for sure. But the rest of the teams in this group make it a bit uninteresting.
Definitely.
Uzbekistan especially, like mainly because of their style of play, not because of the fact that they're newcomers. And Jamaica might be out of their depth. They might make it I think Jamaica would be out of their depth. What was the other team that?
I think DR Congo.
DR Congo. Yeah, no, DR Congo would be an interesting one with this because they're a team that is very fluid in terms of their style of play. They're very direct, which could be interesting against teams like Uzbekistan or Portugal, even, you know, a team that's not afraid to basically step on their feet, essentially. So that could be an interesting matchup. I'm going to say a 4-star for this group, potentially.
That's fair. I'm gonna go 3 because I think there's still a lot of unknowns for me. That's the problem. I think there's a lot of unknowns. I think Portugal, Colombia will be great, but I think the Uzbekistan thing, I don't know how they'll show up. And if it's DR Congo, I think it would increase, but I'm gonna go 3 stars. But finally, to finish off, we have Group L.
my favorite group.
England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. So I'll start with this one. We have the England-Croatia rivalry coming up once again, and you have a good Ghana side who I don't know how they're pot 4 because they're better than pot 4. They have their limitations, but still they're better than pot 4. And then you have Panama, who have been in the World Cups. Exactly. And then you have Panama, who haven't been in the World Cup since 2018. But Thomas Christensen as their coach is a very interesting coach because he's one that I think with Panama, he does well to do better against the bigger teams, but he struggles against the lower teams and sometimes. So that's why I'm really interested by this group. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think England-Ghana would be a really fun game. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't say this is an easy group for England, but I think this is a good group. I think England in the last few tournaments have had groups where it's very good for them to get a good start to the tournament.
Yes, agreed.
And I feel like this has happened again because Croatia is a solid test, Ghana is a solid test, and Panama is an interesting one for them in terms of maybe bringing a bit of rotation in at some point. Test out a few players that might be coming in as substitutes in the later stages of the tournament, you know. And a lot of pundits and fans are asking a lot of questions about who's going to be into the squad in England, and I don't think the starting 11 is set in stone for them.
No, I agree.
And I do honestly think that they will use the group stage to solidify who's going to be the starting 11 by the time the knockout stages come.
Definitely. We love rotation there for sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, this group. I think this group is more interesting than I might be painting it to be. Again, I'm very much against England winning the World Cup, but I think they are definitely favorites, and this group sets them up to be favorites.
For sure. I think in terms of a rating, it's difficult. I'm gonna go a little bit on the fence. I'm gonna go 3.5 stars. The only reason why is because
I think it's 4-star. I think it's a 4-star for sure.
The only reason why it's difficult for me is because it's Panama. I want to see how they do Panama. That's my thing. And then Ghana. Ghana, they show up more in World Cups, even if their form is not the best going into it. Like we saw last World Cup as an example.
Yeah.
I think Ghana-Croatia would be a very fun last game. That could be a decider for second. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to go 3.5 because I just want to see how it applies on paper.
I'm making it a 4 because Ghana is there, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Ghana makes it more interesting out of the top 4 teams.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, that's the way I see it. But all in all, do we have a favorite so far after the groups?
Favorite group? Favorite group?
No, like a favorite group and then a favorite, like, just winner in general.
That's tough. I'm going to say my favorite group is probably going to be... I'm going to say Group J. I actually think Group J is my favorite because I think there's a lot of interest with the Argentina one. I think Argentina come first, but I think the other 3 teams, they all have really interesting elements to them. I was tempted to say Group C with the Haiti and Scotland elements, but I think there's like a bit of a disparity there. There's potential to be a 2-2 group, that one. So I'm going to go Group J, I'll say.
Okay. I'm going to say Group I, actually.
Yeah, that's fair. Completely fair.
France group, because I'm excited to see how Norway does. I'm very intrigued by how Norway does. And to be honest, for me, the favorites are Spain. I think Spain has all the cards in their hand to win this tournament. But we'll see. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I'd go Spain as well, the favorite, and then second favorite's Belgium. No, I'm kidding.
Belgium.
I'm kidding. Just
no.
We're revisiting those jokes again for sure.
I can't believe you've done this.
No, seriously, Spain first.
Shocking behavior, Gabe.
Spain first and Argentina my second favorite. That's what I'll go with.
Yeah, you can't leave out Argentina. You know, they're the holders. Messi might still play. It'll be a difference maker if he does, for sure. So we'll see. I don't think they will, but they definitely have a good setup to do it.
Definitely.
But yeah, this will be an interesting World Cup. Hey, Gabe.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm excited, and hopefully our Swiss boys, but also your German boys, do very well. Can't wait for it.
Yes, absolutely. So in 6 months' time, the World Cup is coming to the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And we just did a breakdown of the groups. We are incredibly excited for this tournament, and we hope that you are too. Yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, anything to say, or you think our predictions are totally irrelevant, or if you think our predictions are just bad.
Yeah, exactly. Just go for it.
Please let us know what you think, and we look forward to seeing you very soon for more World Cup talk or football talk in general.